Hi everyone, it's me Darlene. I have something new for you tonight. New as in I haven't done it before on video. I have played with it a teeny tiny little bit. I have only ever seen one video, anything like this, and my version is still way different than what I saw, and I saw it a long time ago and I cannot find it. But it is what I am calling raw edge piecing. Now I saw one woman, like I said, quite a long time ago. She did this, but she did it as a table runner. She did it in long strips, and she had her pieces very close together so that when the raw edges were washed, it was almost like just raw edge to raw edge. It almost looked like chenille because they were so closely sewn together. And I'm not doing that. I'm just going to be taking pieces of fabric and we're going to be connecting them with just showing the raw edges, and it is kind of cool. It's an acquired taste, I think, and I will show you an example after of what it looks like after it's washed. But of course, different fabrics will do different things. Let's just get started. You're just going to take your scraps. For this particular way of sewing, you don't want little tiny crumbs. You want some decent sized pieces. Try not to be fussy about the colors, you know, just like when we do crumb quilting, we just want to throw colors together. And first I'm just going to show you the general idea, and then I'm going to show you that we still can do assembly line work with this method, because I always try to find a way to do assembly line work because that's the quickest and easiest way. So here's the deal. You're just taking two pieces of fabric, right sides up, for both of them. You're going to overlap one over the other. And we're going to just sew on the top fabric, and you want to leave at least 1/4 inch. You could even leave 1/2 inch. You just want to make sure that you are indeed catching the fabric underneath. You can decide if you want a light thread or a dark thread. If you are doing a mix of colors, well, you're not going to really be able to have a coordinating thread. You can always go with gray, which, you know, kind of hides pretty well in most colors. I'm going with black. I like the pop of thread color, and I also want you guys to be able to see the thread. So I'm just going to start right like this. I'm going to sew down all the way down this edge, and then I will sew here and just stop here. So I'm just, wherever the brown piece is touching the pink, we're going to sew that down. And I'm going to leave about 1/4 inch seam allowance. I'm telling you, it doesn't matter if you sew crooked or not. It just adds to the look of this raw edge quilting bullshit. So when I turn, I want to make sure that I have, you know, some fabric sticking out. And that's it. Now, when you know you're going to have something else sewn over that, you don't have to do any back stitching, because there will be something else sewn over it. But with this form of piecing, there are times that we do need to back stitch to secure it, and I will show you when we do that. So look what we have here. We just have two pieces of fabric sewn together, and you can see on the back that I certainly did catch it. I have, you know, plenty left over. Here's what's so cool about putting pieces together like this. First, you do not have to go press this in between piecing. You're done. As long as your pieces are somewhat flat. I mean, obviously, if you have something very wrinkled, you just want to press it really quick and then just bring all your pieces and you just keep working. You don't ever have to go to the iron and press anything open or press anything to the sides or press to the dark side. No pressing. This is all that you're going to be doing. So let's just say that I want to add another piece here. Now, I have a lot of options. You know, if I wanted to, I could trim this right here and, you know, just build on this. I could have left that there. Let's just pretend for the heck of it that I left that there. I'm trying to find something that's not the same. You know, I could have added another piece there, and I could have even added it like this. But since I already went ahead and cut it, let's just move on to another part of piecing that I want to show you. Alright, just for those of you who like assembly line work like I do, just wanted to show you that you can always take some pieces, like I have a strip here, but it doesn't have to be a strip. It could be just a, you know, a long piece like this. We can do this one too. But let's just say I'm going to take this strip and attach it to here. So I'm going to make sure that I have one on top of the other. I'm going to sew. And then I can add another piece under here and sew. And a little bit more. Yeah, we got it. So same old, same old. We just cut these apart. We can even cut them in half at an angle if we want. Again, I leave them big until I'm ready to use them. But it's just a way to, you know, quickly and easily get a lot of pieces put together. So it just makes the puzzle go that much faster. The other thing you can do is just take two pieces. Well, let's do it down here. Send them through. Don't take it out. And grab two more pieces. Doesn't matter if they match or not. Send them through. And you can just continue like that. Let's take this guy and this guy. Send that through. I'm going to just move that out of the way and start here, and I've got that crooked. I like that. So you can do the strip piecing, or you can do this chain piecing, and then you just snip those apart. You don't need to go iron anything, and then, you know, you can trim these if you want now or later, and you just create a whole bunch of pieces like that. So let's go back to what we had started with. What's really good about this is not only is there no ironing, but the fabric is so flexible. You never have any thick seams to worry about. It's like really nice to make like a hippie skirt because it's very flowy, and it just gets better the more you wash it. So let's just see what else we can do here. Let's continue on this. I don't have to worry about size. Let's just add this right here. That is the pleasure of this. It's so easy. The only time you might have some trouble is if you find that you're not catching the fabric underneath. You just have to make sure that you leave enough fabric on the underside. Now let's say we want to put a patch here. Let's do this, and look, I'm going to make this point. I wish this point was darker so it would stick out better. Can we do this and not worry about touchy-touchy? Do I have anything else darker? Wait a sec. Oh, let's do this. It's lighter, so that's cool. So let's just, let's see. Ooh, let's do this. Let's get rid of this. So I'm just going to sew down here, 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 here. And I like to sew with the fabric to the left of me, so I'm actually going to start here. I'm going to stop and turn. And I guess I shouldn't say it's so much that I like the fabric to the left of me, but I like to be lining up to the right side of my foot as opposed to the left side of my foot. That just works best for my brain. So look how fast and easy that was. And of course, if you don't like all these weird colors, you know, I'm just showing you with junk that I've got right here. So you can always pick scraps that you want. But we can do so many cool things. Ooh, well, let's make it a little bit bigger first, and then I'll show you some other stuff. So let's just take some more pieces that we made. How about this one with this nice strip, like this? I'm going to go this way. And this way. Now that little piece was sticking out, and that's okay. I like that. And like this, and then there. See how I just added that on there? It's so exciting to me. I don't know if it is to you, but I love it. All right, let's add something else just because we can. How about like that? Let's do this way. I mean, you can see how fast this builds. Let's see something smaller here. Let's put this guy right here. I like that. You always want to make sure you get all the edges though. See, I had this little edge here, so I have to start here, and then this way. And let's just kind of even it up a little. How about like that? Get out. All right, so I have to start here. and then this way. And if you sew over a big piece of fabric, you can certainly trim that because you want to use it somewhere else. This could patch that little area right there, so let's do that. This is about as big as I like to go because I start to, you know, just not like moving that much around. I want to get into the next piece. To join pieces like this, you would join them the same way. You could square them up a little bit if you wanted, or you could just cut some weird angles, but you would just, okay, let me show you another practice piece. This was just all kind of bright colors, but you know, I forgot to show you. You can even do curves, which is cool, or you know, circles this way. I was just playing with different things, but let's pretend that this, you know, would go with this. You could, you know, maybe just cut a piece off to make it fit better, or you could just go ahead, lay it on somewhere and sew that on. And that's how you would get your pieces to match. But again, I think it would be better to like trim it here and there just to make the best use of the fabric, and whatever's left over could go somewhere else or act like a patch. But now here's the other thing that you can do, and it's kind of cool and it kind of adds little pops of color. Sometimes you can take just a little piece like this, and let's just put that right there. And let's just go all the way around. Now, nothing is going to ever go over that again, so at this point we have to do the back stitch. So I'm going to go forward a couple, back a couple, and then forward. And this way. And this way. And this way. And back stitch. Just a couple stitches. And look how cool that is. It's a little patch. Another thing you can do is, if you have little crumb block pieces left, you can add those to this too. You can add it as a little patch somewhere if you want and just sew all the way around that. Or you could add it to the edge, even though that's not all raw edges. That's okay. Let's just put this guy here. So we added that guy in. Oh, let's add this. Let's add this little two-patch left over from crumbing. Let's put the brown here, and let's make the little flowers go that way. Might as well start on the brown so the thread won't show as much when I do my back stitching. And of course, you could always do iron-on fusing and just iron all this stuff on, but I don't need to take that extra time. We're getting away from the iron. That's what I like. I mean, seriously, how cool is it that we don't have to get up and press all the time? Ooh, I even like made a curve on purpose. Oh, I could get so addicted to this. I think I could get addicted to this even more than the crumb quilting because it's so fast. Look at that other little patch. I just like it so much. Okay, so let me tell you what I did. My very first practice piece, what I did is for a couple of these, I was just curious to see if it would be worth it, but I went ahead and snipped as though we were doing rag quilting. I gotta tell you, never in my lifetime would I ever want to spend time snipping seams all the way around. And it didn't really do any difference. But this is the piece that I had made as my practice piece. So this was the first and only piece I ever made, and then I made this guy just because I felt like playing with it a little bit more, and then the only other piece I've ever made is this that I made with you. This is by far my favorite. And this is the one though that I made just to show you. It does get raggedy and you do get threads. Once you snip them, this has been washed and dried, but just look at how it's just so flexible. It's just so awesome. You totally could make skirts out of this and it wouldn't be heavy at all. But it does get ragged a little bit and you have to snip that. But I did want to show you, this is where I had done the rag snipping, and you can see it didn't really do anything. And on this pink line, I only did those two to see, you know, if it would make a difference. So what happens is, I left some of the threads, is when it comes out of the wash the first time, you might have some threads to snip like this. See, you can see that the purple threads came out, but once they're out up to the stitch line, it's not going to keep happening. So it is a little bit of work after maybe the first couple washings. This has actually been washed twice. But then it gets, you know, like this, and it looks just raggedy. Some will fray better than others. You could also do this with flannel if you wanted. So obviously it's good for skirts, but it's good for tote bags and quilt tops. Now you can see that was my very first attempt, and I didn't catch the fabric underneath. The cool thing is you just have to go back and sew that. And you know, I would not want to use black thread, but you do want to make sure when you're putting your pieces together that one is really on top of the other so that you're not going to be too close to the edge. So I'm just going to stop here with this. I don't know, should I take a picture of this? I'll take a picture and just do like one, you know, quilt on the quilt board, just so you can see and you can study the piece up close, because I'll take a picture of this actual piece. And that is it for now. I hope you enjoyed. Maybe you learned something, maybe you didn't, maybe it's something you want to try, maybe it's something you never want to try. I really like it. I do think it's tied in first place to crumb quilting, possibly first place. I'm still very new at it, but I think with a little bit more practice, I would really love it. And I'm sure I'll come up with some other things to tell you, and when I do, I will tell you. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe so you don't miss any future quilt blocks. I am going to go ahead and trim this for the sake of the video, and you'll see what it looks like in just a minute. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!